Hello, I'm Paul Cullen from Lower Delaware, here at WBOC's Historic Studio D. You're watching Delmarva Life.
And we're going to be hearing from Paul in just a little bit. You know, many people agree roses are beautiful, they smell wonderful, and this is the month to celebrate them. June is National Rose Month, and there are so many to choose from. Here to help us figure out what roses may be best for us is Ginny Rosenkrantz, gardening expert and extension educator, commercial horticulture at the University of Maryland. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I have to kind of peek around the roses to see you. So there's so many varieties, and you brought so many varieties in to show us. Help us kind of sort it out. What works best for us?
Well, if you're going for fragrance, you want to go ahead and find the ones that are the most fragrant. I think that the ones that are purpley or a silver purple or mauve colored, they're always the ones that have the most fragrance.
Yes, and I can attest to that. You can smell them. Plus, they're so beautiful. I love that purple color.
Absolutely gorgeous.
What is that called? What kind of rose is
that's
this?
heirloom.
Heirloom.
That's heirloom. So now they're not always the strongest, although some of them are, but I mean, their fragrance is so worthwhile. Then there's hybrid teas like Queen Elizabeth, very, very fragrant. And then some of the red roses can be extremely fragrant too. So it just depends on what you want. Do you want to go for color? Do you want a climber rose? Do you want like a shrub rose? We have over here these little guys right here are shrub roses, and these guys are shrub roses too. So it just depends on what you're interested in.
Okay, and you mentioned the tea roses. Which one is that?
Well, like this is a tea rose.
Okay, with the big...
Right, the big heads. And what's nice about them is they'll come up with a beautiful head, and then they open up and they have lots and lots of petals.
They're so beautiful, all very beautiful. Now, when we plant our roses, what should we look for? Do we want lots of sun, maybe shade?
Absolutely, full sun. And that means at least 8 hours of sun. A lot of people say, oh, I have a lot of sun, and they have sunlight from maybe 12 to 2 or something like that. No, it needs at least 8 hours of full sun because we're asking them to do so much. We're saying, hey, grow and give me lots of flowers.
Yeah. So I imagine that means we need to water them on a regular basis?
Right, at least 2 to 3 times a week because again we're asking them to do so much for us. And you do want to fertilize them in the springtime. That they have different types of rose food to make it easier on you too.
And I guess different roses, different food, or how do you?
Well, actually they're all pretty much the same in that sense. They're all pretty happy about as long as they get something. And if you don't give them any, then they have a tendency to go, oh, whatever.
All right, this right here is my favorite, knockout roses, and I tell you, it's my favorite because they're hard to kill.
Yes, and that's the beauty of the knockout roses. All the other roses are so prone to a disease called black spotted roses, and the knockout rose is completely resistant to it, which is wonderful. It will get other diseases, but it will never get that. So when you plant it, it'll always be full of green foliage and full of beautiful flowers, which is perfect. So I would recommend this for anybody who's like, I'm not really interested in being a serious rose person, but I love the color. And then definitely get these because they're so easy to grow.
Now, when you have these, do you need to cut them back in the fall or just let them go?
Well, if you don't cut them back, then they're going to get kind of leggy. And then they're only going to bloom at the very, very top. So I say cut them back a little bit in the fall, but again, cut them back in the springtime. Because anytime you prune a rose, you're asking it to do something else, grow again. So I just prune it up a little bit in the fall, but in the springtime, I prune it really, to about a foot off the ground to encourage all that new growth. And I would wait until the new foliage starts to come out and then, okay guys, come on, let's go.
Now I've seen climbing roses, the ones that go up the trellises. Tell us about those.
Oh, they're neat, they're really neat. And these are some right here, these guys up here are beautiful climbers. And they're neat because they just grow really high, 20 to 30 feet high sometimes. And I just think that they're really cool.
These are, what are they called? They're just called climbing roses?
Yeah, this is the climbing rose, right.
They don't have a specific name?
That one does. I can't remember what it is.
There's so many varieties.
Oh, really? There are so many gorgeous varieties. And, but they're really cool because if you have a trellis or an entryway to someplace, it just sort of says, hey, welcome. This is really a fun place to come.
And different colors, of course.
Yes.
How many, do the particular roses come in only one color? Or?
Oh, it's neat. Roses are the whole rainbow of colors. The only colors that they don't have is black and blue. and everything else in between. They have whites and to yellows to oranges to reds to pinks.
Peaches.
And multicolors here. I love the multicolor here. Yeah, just everything.
Now, we are a couple days out from the first day of summer. Is it too late to plant these?
Oh, no. Most of the plants you can get now are in containers. So as long as you're sure you're going to be home to water them 2 to 3 times a week.
Right.
Plant them anytime you want to.
Right, so beautiful. Thank you so much information. Thank you so much, Jenny, for telling us all about these roses today. And they do smell so good. I wish everyone could smell this. Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, it's Surf Up tomorrow on International Surf Day, and Brian's getting some tips from the pros. Brian?
Well, Lisa, when we come back, we're going to tell you what International Surf Day is all about, plus some tips when it comes to hanging 10 out on the water. Stay with us, you don't want to miss it. We will be right back.